Hey there, and welcome to another comparison by me, Albedo238. This time, we're taking a look at the 3 DS Castlevania games. As you see, as you may remember from my DS collection, or from the videos showing my DS collection, I have all 3 of them. So let's get started. Now, as far as everything goes, I like Portrait of Ruin the best. It's the second Castlevania game to hit the DS. And to me, and by far, it's my favorite. Not to say that the other 2 aren't good. They are very good. And they all have their own individual strengths and such. But let's talk about the first game that hit the DS, which was Dawn of Sorrow. Dawn of Sorrow is the sequel to Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance. And much like its predecessor, Dawn of Sorrow uses many of the same things that, well, Aria of Sorrow used. Much like the soul system, where you absorb souls from defeated enemies. And you equip the souls to your main character Soma to power them up, or to either that or use them as sub-weapons. Like your red souls will be used as sub-weapons. Your blue souls are kind of like, shields or whatever, or just various things, They're referred to as guardian souls. And then you get your yellow souls for enhancing certain stats or whatever. And you got ability souls, which are silver. And they mainly give Soma new abilities and stuff. So that's pretty cool. And while this game is pretty good, it's still considerably too similar to its predecessor. Not saying that's a bad thing, of course, not at all. But how can I put this in a way? We do. It's not. It's also not bad to have something. Things be a little different. Or be kind of fresh. And for me, Dawn of Sorrow is, it's still sort of a fresh idea. It's not quite as much as what we got in the other 2 games. So yeah, I'll say that much. But it's still pretty good overall. And of course, this is probably the only one game that you made use of the touch screen, where one of the new things that was added to Dawn of Sorrow was you had to draw seals to once you defeat an enemy, you had to draw a seal in order to basically make the enemy permanently defeated. And if you fail to do so, you'd have to fight the enemy again, only fight the boss again. Sorry, I meant boss. Yeah, I'm screwing up. Sorry. Yeah, you'd have to use a seal to draw a seal to defeat the boss, but once you do, well, you win. So yeah. So for the most part, Dawn of Sorrow is really good. Now, the second game, Portrait of Ruin, hit, and while it may not seem quite as unique as Dawn of Sorrow was with its soul system, it did give us the ability to play as 2 characters and switch out between them any time. Now, I know what you're saying, that Draculas Curse for the NES did something similar, switching out, between Trevor and one of the 3 heroes that joined with him. Well, this game sort of does that, but but it also had some few new flavors. One thing is the dual crushes, which are the combo attacks that your 2 characters, Jonathan and Charlotte, do together. And they're very powerful. They're some of the most powerful attacks you'll use. They do take up quite a bit of MP, and you can only use it when your MP gauge is flashing. And it only will flash, depending on, how much energy, is, fully needed to power up that, the dual crush. So that's pretty cool. This game also added missions, which was pretty neat. It added like little missions that you could do for this one guy in the game, and they would net you some pretty nice rewards and stuff. Pretty cool. not much else I can say about it. It also did offer, well, Draculas Castle was kind of, they kind of took a bit of an idea from Super Mario 64, where you jumped into paintings. Like in Super Mario 64, where you went around the castle and you jumped in a painting to go to like a world. Portrait of Ruin did something similar, where you would jump through certain paintings and go through different worlds, in order to fight the boss there and earn new power-ups or whatever, new items to help you progress through the game. Pretty neat. So yeah, not much I can say there. It was just I mean, it may not seem like the most unique of them, but of the other two, but it is by far one of my favorite. For the fact that you get so many cool sub weapons and for Jonathan, and you get a lot of cool spells for Charlotte, and the dual crushes are awesome. Just a lot of stuff to get. And there's a lot of enemies to just a lot of replay value for this game. So yeah, good stuff. And next and finally, to hit the DS was Order of Ecclesia. Now, as I mentioned, Order of Ecclesia used a glyph system, which kind of took the place of both main weapons and sub weapons. It was pretty good. I have to say, it wasn't too bad. It was actually a pretty unique idea. Very good. Probably not executed super well. Well, I would actually take that back. What I said about it being not being executed very well. I think it was. It just feels kind of limited though. Some amount of glyphs you get, feel very limited. Compared to the number of weapons that you got in the other two games. Or the number of sub weapons or whatever. So yeah, but that was pretty good for the most part. Yeah, that was my grandma. She was just coming in to check on me. Getting back to the video. Now, for the most part, like I said, the glyph system pretty good. Just feels very limited. It was also the first. It was also the first game. And you can also combine glyphs to do like super attacks. But that too feels very limited. In fact, that you you have to it has to be specific combinations, or else it will be an invalid combination. It has to be very specific, and that kind of sucks. But whatever. Anyway, getting back to the talking about the game, talking about the rest of the game. It was also one of the first games that actually allowed venturing outside the castle. In fact, actually, Draculas Castle was not available from the beginning. In fact, you were usually going around the world map, going to different places before you go to Draculas Castle in the end. So that was pretty unique. The only problem is most of the places in this game feel kind of short. They feel not as big or as massive as the locales in the castle in Dawn of Sorrow, or the areas you visited, through paintings and Portrait of Ruin. But aside from all that though, it's still pretty good. And Dawn of Sorrow, I have to say, is not quite my most favorite. It's still good. It's still a good game. Now, of course, all three games use the Metroidvania style of gameplay, and they all do it very well. A lot of our people would argue, a lot of Castlevania fans would argue, not quite as good as Symphony of the Night, but I think they all do a great job in that. And for the most part, they're all classics in my eyes. But like I said, Portrait of Ruin, definitely the big winner for me. It's simply the best. But that's just my opinions. Let me know what you think. If you own all three games, or just let me know what you think. Anyway, that'll be all. This is Albedo238, signing off.